Something I love about a quiet contract I've had with myself for the past probably 4 or 5 years is that come January 1, I don't feel any different. There is nothing about January 1 that is different in my mind to December 31st. It's merely a continuation of trying my best. However, there is this undeniable energy that we as sort of human beings collectively experience with that start of a new year. It's like, new year, new you, have this meal delivery service, join this gym. So we're in that wave, whether we like it or not. So though I don't set these black and white intentions, and though I don't start with a white clean page and should Mar appear, well then it's all out the window. Though I don't do that, I do something at the end of the year that I wanted to kind of share with you guys. Specifically, I wanted to share what I do for the diabetes sector of my life. So there are 4 parts to this. Part 1, setting my intention and my why. Part 2, what are the challenges that could perhaps challenge that intention and my pursuit of that intention. Part 3, what am I saying yes to? What am I saying no to? And part 4, what is the action plan? So for me, the intention came down to maximizing my time in range. Because when I maximize my time in range, I maximize the life and the presence that I have in life and the energy that I have to give. But there is a huge addendum to this. I will not sacrifice my mental health to achieve more time in range. Because I don't live to serve my diabetes. I live because I get to live this life. I do have the challenge of diabetes, but I will not set aside this well-being to achieve that. It's not worth it. Not worth it to me. And my why is very simple. When I maximize my time in range, I feel like I show up as my best self for my family, my friends, my career, but most of all, myself. And that relationship to myself is so important, specifically from a diabetes perspective, because we are our own caretaker. This is a condition that you have to manage yourself. So protecting my relationship with myself feels important, really, really important from the diabetes perspective, particularly. So moving on to my challenges. What is the challenge for this time in range? Well, all of it. Simply all of it, I would say, because diabetes. But when I sort of break it down, I have 3 areas that I can set myself up for the best possible experience with type 1 diabetes. And that is managing stress, prioritizing sleep, and what I eat and how I fuel my body. So the challenges: stress from diabetes, stress from work, just anything that produces stress, challenge. Prioritizing sleep. I struggle with my sleep from time to time. I think a lot of type 1 diabetics do. And though a lot of that struggle can't necessarily be controlled, there's a lot of stuff around my sleep routine that I know I could improve upon. I mean, doom scrolling, TV in bed. Come on, Andrea, get it together. And in terms of how I feed my body, that one is a challenge because it's just constant. And we gotta take insulin with what we eat, and that already is occasionally difficult, and by occasionally I mean but there are things that I can do to influence that, to give me the best shot possible at success and sustained energy throughout my day. So there's 4 things I'm saying yes to. Putting my needs first and not being afraid to say no if I need to get my rest, to have a quiet time with myself, not pushing myself so as to not create stress. 2, prioritizing rest and sleep. This serves all sorts of things. 3, walking. Walking is a magic one for me, and I want to continue that and up the consistency. And 4, protein, and fat. Protein and fat. Not cutting out carbs, but upping my protein and upping my healthy fats. Because that, when I'm in a zone of that, I feel my best. And so of course, that's something I want to say yes to. I'm saying no to watching TV and doom scrolling. You know, if I do that and then I sleep badly and then the next day I'm more insulin resistant, a diabetes pitfall. 2, no self-judgment. This is the mental health piece. Absolutely and utterly, we're not beating ourselves up. I'm not doing that. That's a no. 3, trying not to eat as many processed foods. And this is just a very personal one, but for me, I don't love necessarily to cook, nor does my husband David. Also, sometimes, to be honest with you, it's attractive to eat packaged foods as a diabetic because you get that gorgeous nutrition label and you just know what's in it. But I don't feel my best when I'm leaning heavily into those foods. Not at all. So we've come to the last bit, and that is the action plan. And I'm going to actually refer to my notes because I've tried to be as specific as possible. In terms of addressing the stress, it is saying no to things I don't want to do or don't have the energy to do. i.e., if I get invited to something and I know I'm just going to be exhausted, and then I'm going to come home late, and then I'm not going to be able to sleep because I'm buzzing from the late night energy, and then that's going to have a terrible cascade. If it's something I want to do, I'll certainly do it. But if it's something that I don't want to do, giving myself permission to say no to that. In terms of addressing the food situation, buying lots of freezer fillers that can be easily cooked up and using meal formulas. They say, like in England, I learned this phrase, meat and 2 veg. You want your veg, you want your carb or your starch, and you want your protein. So having things in my freezer like different meats that can just be heated up. Also having lots of veg in there. Cauliflower rice, regular rice, different types of veg, frozen broccoli, frozen peas and carrots. Stuff that can be easily turned into a meal and doesn't require a lot of preparation steps. That might sound ridiculous to some people, but for me, that's where I'm at right now. And I may take an interest in cooking lots and lots more in my life, but I realistically don't right now. And so the fridge filler concept is one that's going to help me. And third, in terms of the walking aspect, I am going to aim for between 8 and 10,000 steps a day. And a further action step on from that, because we're in New York and it's freezing and snow could fall at any moment, though it really hasn't so far. Thank you. I joined a gym, not because I want to pump the iron or something like that, but so I can walk indoors or use the elliptical or just move my body because I am a big walker. So when it's really cold or really difficult to walk outside for long periods of time, that is so hard for me because I really feel like I can't do one of the things that I really love and serves me. So having access to a gym where I can continually get those steps in, especially during the colder months, that one's good. And sleep for me is sort of aiming for a consistent bedtime and wake up time. Naturally, I wake up between like 6 and 8. I will wake up somewhere in that realm, and it's difficult for me to get back to sleep. So no matter how late I go to bed, I know I'm going to wake up in that time range. To be asleep by 11 would be the dream. And in terms of the wake up, I don't need to worry so much about keeping that consistent because my body does keep it consistent, whether I like it or not. But here's the hilarious thing. On January 1st, I'm going to break that specific rule. I will be up past midnight because I want to see in the new year. And that's living, baby. Right there, that's a perfect example of how I want this healthy fluidity within all of this. I wrote something down here which I thought it really felt right to me, and I'll share it with you. I don't want to live to serve my diabetes, but when my diabetes is in range, I live more of my life. So I think that rounds this entire why up very well and is a mantra that I'd never kind of come up with before and something I can remind myself of when I'm feeling that thing of, I just don't want a diabetes today. So that might be something that I write somewhere that I keep in view to kind of continually perpetuate me and remind me that when I do this, I live more life. And that's pretty cool. So there, we have it. That's my walkthrough. It is in no way, shape, or form advice I'm giving. It's something that I wanted to distill down for myself, and then I thought, well, this might be cool to share because I like this way of working and taking advantage of that wave of New Year's feeling that comes over us all, but it actually can be done at any time. It doesn't rely on January 1 to be the date. I just genuinely from the bottom of my heart want to thank you for being here and for all your comments and sorry, just all the generosity that you guys have shown me through watching videos, through commenting, through supporting one another within the comments section. It is just the biggest gift to me, and I am so grateful. And at this time of the year, when you're taking stock of things, wow, that makes the year-long gratitude, the many year-long gratitude list, the daily gratitude list. Genuinely, I can't tell you what you all mean to me. And I wish you guys the very best year ahead. Thank you so much, and I will see you next year.